I wanted to do Nuzlocke for years now, and also started a few back in the day, but never managed to finish them due to either lack of motivation or lack of time. But that changed with Shin. Shin, or better known as Shinichi Psycho, asked me to do a two-player Nuzlocke, or better known as a Soul Link Nuzlocke. After a bit of discussion, we decided to go with Soul Silver and Hard Gold, because it's his favorite generation, and I never played it, so I could also experience something new. To make it even more exciting, we decided to go with a randomizer Nuzlocke, so there will be a lot of surprises along the way. And to undermine how lost I am in this run, I immediately went the wrong way in search of the professor's lab. After Shin managed to guide me to the professor's lab, I had the biggest challenge yet. Deciding who's gonna be my starter. I had a choice between Luxio, Togepi and Jumpluff, and since I'm a big Luxray fan, I obviously went with Luxio. After Shin bagged his Venusaur, we went out on Route 30 and even further to Cherry Grove City. From there on out, we collected the mystery egg which Professor Elm asked us to get and went back to him. But before I arrived at the professor's place, I had an encounter with our rival. This time I call him Shinichi, since he called his Phoenix. With Luxio on my side, it was a pretty easy first fight, because I just spammed tackle all the time. Back at Professor Elm, we gave him the egg, and afterwards Lyra told us how to catch some Pokemon, with which we officially started the Nuzlocke challenge. Our first encounter was a bit disappointing, because both of them were a fighting type, and as you don't know yet, we have some special rules in place. As typical for a Nuzlocke challenge, we have the basic rules, like first encounter per route is a catch, if a Pokemon faint it dies, and we also cannot use any items in battle. Now to the more special rules. First off, we have the Soul Link rule, which states that the Pokemon we both caught on that route are linked together. That means if my Pokemon dies, Shin's Pokemon he got from that route also dies. And now to the rule why we couldn't catch our first encounter on this route. The last special rule we have is that we cannot have Pokemons of the same main type in our teams. So when I have a grass type, Shin is not allowed to have a Pokemon with the main grass type. On Route 31, I got my first team member, which is a Shelgon. At first glance, it seems like a really strong Pokemon, because it can evolve into Salamence, but when you look at the levels of the top 4, you quickly realize that it will never be able to evolve, because we also decided to at least stay around the level of the next gym leader. Route 32, on the other hand, gave me a precious little thing. Loadhead. I love it. It's so cute. Just look at the eyes. In the Ruins of Alph, I also got a Bibarel, which also is a very nice addition to my team, because it has good stats for tanking attacks, and having an evolution that early is also really nice. After collecting a Geodude in the Sprout Tower, I managed to have my first small challenge for this run. And this will tell you all you have to know about how my fights will go from now on. I talked to a monk who casually has the God of Time in his pocket. With my completely overleveled Luxio, I one-hitted the Dialga, so that was not really so scary. In comparison to that, the Elder was not really scary for me. The Spoink, Miltank and Lileep he had was not really dangerous to anything for me. With my really overleveled team, Marshall had no chance, and his Sharpedo and Blastoise got killed in like a few seconds. With the first badge in our pocket, and collected an egg from a guy. I don't know where he got it from, to be honest. I did not read what he said. In the Elex Forest, I caught a Larvitar, which also, on paper, pretty strong, since Despotar is like really strong, but again cannot evolve after the top 4 and after the Pokemon League. After freeing the Slowpokes, I ran into our rival once again, and that's where the problems started. He led the fight with Fortress, which immediately decided to blow up and barely not killed my Luxio.
Get it to that!
Jesus Christ! After that first scary thing to happen, the game decided to scare me even more. Remember about the Dialga I talked earlier? Well, here is his brother, ruler of the distortion world, Satan of Pokemon, Giratina. I switched to Lombre because Luxio obviously couldn't fight anymore. And what does Giratina do? He uses Ominous Wind. Lombre got a critical hit Earthquake in, but in exchange, Giratina managed to get a Ominous Wind boost, boosting all its stats. At that moment, I kinda knew that I have a problem. So to get a clean switch in, I sadly had to sacrifice my Lombre, and with that, our first death of the series occurred. Shelgon finished it off with a bite, and that left only one Pokemon in his team. In the end, the fight with Jumpluff was not a lot to talk about since I just used Bite until it died. After that, I decided to hatch the egg to lift my spirit a bit, which turned out to be a Venusaur. So now Shin and I myself both have a Venusaur. Also at that point we decided to leave the remote type thing on the side and just head in our own teams. So from that point on forward, both of us could have one Pokemon of each type in our team, which was not really a challenge after the fight with the ruler of the distortion world. The Probopass, Munchlax and Carvana of Sonia was also not that scary, and I immediately killed all of them. After leaving the forest and entering Route 34, I got my second Kanto starter, Charizard, which obviously was a huge deal. Charizard is not only one of the most famous Pokemon, but also a real good Pokemon. And since fire types are not that common in this run, it was a big opportunity for me. After this little treat with Charizard, I saw the true colors of the game once again while having to fight an Arceus, which is owned by a preschooler. As we arrived in Goldenrod City, we decided to level up our Pokemon a bit more. While doing this, Shin lost his Golbat, so I had to give up my Shelgon as well, which was not really a big loss. On the way out of Goldenrod City, we got a Kenya gifted, which in my case was Delibird. Yes. One of the probably worst Pokemon I could think of. After failing multiple times at the radio quiz, we could finally enter the local gym, which was a total pushover. My Venusaur didn't wait long to annihilate both Pokemon and secured me the next badge. From there on out, we grabbed the squirt bottle and headed over to the Sudowoodo blocking the path. In the burnt tower, I once again encountered my rival, and once again, he had a legendary with him. Zapdos was not that scary, but I just wanted to say it for obvious reasons. The rest of his team also went down really quick, and to be honest, I completely forgot what he had at this point. After scaring off the dogs, we obliterated the fourth gym leader. Gym leader Zoe had an Hoot, a Swalot, a Gligar, and a Cherubi. All four of them not really scary and immediately went down. We also climbed the light tower, which was one of the worst experiences in my whole life. Every trainer in this tower had either a sleep or a confused Pokemon, which made every fight way more annoying than it had to be. On the way to get the medicine for the Ampharis, the Corphish I found on Route 40 got Mega Punched too hard by a Kangaskhan and did not take it very well. After collecting the medicine, we decided to challenge the 5th gym. After taking on another Zapdos and Dialga in random gym fights, we went on to the gym leader. In there, the next big death happened. Shin lost his Marshtomp, and in response to that, my Charizard sadly also died with it. After losing Charizard, I switched in a Torchic I collected on Route 38, and it's a really nice addition to the team. At the Lake of Rage, we encountered our shiny Pokemon, which was a Zigzagoon. At the start, I was very not pleased with that, but later on, I saw a lot of value in this guy. With our new shinies, we went into the Rocket hideout. In there, I quickly lost the seal I found on Route 39 to a Totara. Honestly, I thought Icy Wind, which is a 4-time effective attack against a Totara, would be enough to one-shot it, but I was wrong. After clearing the rest of the hideout, I caught a male combi, which basically is useless. After that adventure on the other side of the region, we decided to go back to Jasmine and give her Amphi the medicine she requested. In her gym, I got scared. She pulled out a Frostlass, which, when you know Jaden Animation's video, can be dangerous. Luckily it had no hailstorm up, so Snowcloak was not active, but the ominous wind was still scary enough. While exploring the Safari Zone, I sadly lost my Combuskin to a double battle, which in hindsight was very stupid of me. Luckily I also got a Fiona there, which was a nice addition to the team. While switching up the team and once again leveling, in this point of the video, I also want to talk about Shin's event that he's planning. From the 25th to the 29th of June, he will stream a lot of Pokemon related things, like for example a quiz, a shiny hunt and much more. After getting the 7th badge, which was no big feat, we decided to free the radio tower from the Team Rocket grunts. In the radio tower, I sadly lost my Ninetales to a Mantike with Bubble Beam, which I did not expect to do so much damage, even though it's a 4 times effective move, I know. While being in the underground and running into our rival once again, I also lost my Scissor to a mega draining and leech seeding Jumpluff, which also leech seeded the life out of me at that point. After freeing the radio tower and continuing our journey, I lost my Kenya to a Sudowoodo cause I thought 1 Giga Drain will one-shot that thing for real. After grabbing the hidden power unknown, I decided to play a little game with Shin. I gave him the chance to ask about 3 typings and how effective it would be to use hidden power against them. To my surprise, he chose right and guessed the dragon type. On the way to the next and last gym, I had to go through the ice path, in which a Wynot countered my Paras and immediately killed it. Also, Shin lost our egg Pokemon in the Blackthorn City gym, which killed my Venusaur. So that one hurt a lot, since Venusaur was a really good addition to my team and always pulled its weight. I replaced the Venusaur with a Blossom I got while fishing next to the 8 gym, so I at least had a good switch. On the way to our hometown to fish next to it, I also lost my Fiona, which also was a big loss for me, since it always was helpful and having a water type on your team is always nice. One of the main reasons I lost Fiona there was basically because I only had 2 really good Pokemon I could use against Alakazam, and one of it was already low. So the main problem is basically that my Pokemons were too low level to go that route. In my hometown, I at least got a really nice replacement for it, since I fished a Lairon in the lake to the right. After looking at the levels of our teams, I decided that we will use the rare candy cheat here, because I had no nerves to grind even more in this challenge. And also, it was kinda annoying me at that point to mindlessly grind all the time. And that decision got punished. Really, really bad. A gym trainer pulled out a Mantine, which I had no problem dealing with. But what came after was the apocalypse. As my luck allowed it, the second Pokemon was a Rayquaza, which even was higher level than any of my Pokemon. After dealing a slight bit of damage with my Luxray, I decided to sacrifice an unknown to get in a clean switch. And just as I thought I had it, it started to rest spam. After 5 minutes of rest spamming, we could finally continue the fight as normal. And just as I thought I had it, the worst happened.
Also strategy.
No fucking way.
Did it crit?
No, my Lairon flinched. After that slight mishap, my whole team got wiped and I lost the challenge. Now, that's probably not the happy end you expected me to have, but a Nuzlocke is a Nuzlocke. At least I wiped to a legendary. Once again, thank you Shin for the invite and for the great time. We had a lot of topics to discuss, a lot of things to talk about, and it never was boring. Mostly annoying, but never boring.